Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, let's talk about Carly for a minute. Now, I think I've said this Friday, maybe Thursday. Sound like a broken record. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I just don't feel bad for her. I mean, she literally made an asinine decision when Drew and Michael told her not to do it. And now, she is talking to, I guess, her financial advisor about a loan. A loan where it's so high that she has to put up the house as collateral. And for a hot minute, she was really considering. Olivia came in there and Olivia was like, yo, you must be out of your goddamn mind. What are you doing? She tries to talk sense into her. She's like, yo, listen, I'll sit there and buy, you know, let me do this for you. Let me sit there and help you out. And she's like, no. And it gets to a point where Carly's like, maybe pride is all I have left. And I'm like, that's among the stupidest things that she said. Not the top, but it's among the stupidest things that she has said. Okay? Sonny, she's not letting Sonny help her. She's not really trying to let Drew, she's not letting anybody help her. She, it seems like for a hot minute is going through with this loan. I'm gonna be completely honest. The scenes with Michael and Willow, the scenes pretty much with Michael, the fact that Chad Duell isn't in it is really taking me out of these scenes. They just are. I know that this guy is doing his best, and I'm not knocking him, but for me personally, it's just not working. Now, Willow and Michael run into Sonny, and Willow comes over there to thank him for, catching her from, cracking her head and, taking care of her, taking her to the hospital and everything. And Michael, this is where I keep saying that this is just plot over common sense and logic. Because Michael can even bother to sit there and say, yeah, thank you for helping her. I know that we got our disagreements going on, but, I really do appreciate you looking out for Willow like that. Nothing. He said, absolutely. I thought about that when I was sitting there watching the previews. And I'm just like, bro, seriously? He had nothing to say. He just kept looking at her. He kept looking at Sonny with this ungrateful dick manner that he just kept pushing. And so after a while, Sonny was like, yeah, your family and everything like that. And Michael was like, oh, we gotta sit there and talk to Carly. And I'm just like, I know people are rooting for Michael versus Sonny. And I mean, I like both characters, so it's really hard for me to choose. But having his attitude act like that, not even thanking Sonny for helping out Willow is like, I can't with him at this point. And again, moreover, these scenes aren't really doing it for me with him. Now, they do come to talk to Carly. And Olivia blurts out that, Carly's going to lose her half at a hotel. And then she's all like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought they knew. They didn't know and whatever. And she races out of there. Michael is not furious, but he's like, I told you not to do this. Let me help you. And of course, Carly says no. So I guess, they didn't tell Sonny that Willow was pregnant, but they felt like some good news would help Carly out. So they tell her, and she's all happy and everything like that. And this is, towards the end of the episode, she realizes that, you know, money isn't everything. The hotel, status, whatever. This is about family, and her losing her house and that loan because they were going to pretty much screw her over on this loan because of, she's in a bad spot and the banks and everything like that, they know it. So they feel like they can, well, screw her even more. And she realizes that, what, this is just not worth it. So, she's sad and everything. And, well, to be honest, I just really don't care. But, she's sad and everything like that. And it comes out towards the end with Olivia Snitty talking to Sonny about Carly's situation. She was like, I was going to do it anyway. I was just going to sit there and buy her out anyway. But somebody beat me to it. And I'm guessing that somebody was Nina. Because Nina, at the end of the episode, came towards Carly. Carly was like, yo, I'm not in the mood now. But, she pretty much is more like, hear me out first. Now, we saw in the previews that it seems like Nina is not there trying to come to Carly's rescue as far as, hey, let me help you out, yada, yada, yada. Now, I did say, I think Friday, that wouldn't it be funny if Nina owns half of the hotel? I think the question is, how would she be able to do both? How would she be able to run the hotel, do all that stuff, and be, doing Crimson? It sounds easy, okay? It sounds easy for a woman of her status, delegating and things of that nature, but to be honest, I, I don't know. Maybe because she's been doing this for a while, and I look at it myself as far as doing YouTube, thinking about doing Twitch, trying to do both of those things full time or putting in more. It's just, I remember I had a conversation with DC Sanctuary. One of my phrases was, um, jack of all trades, master of none. You know, but I don't know. Like I said, it still would be interesting, and it would still make my day knowing that Nina has, half of Carly's hotel. That really would, and it's a very odd thing to say because I sound, well, I'm repeating myself how much I don't like Nina, but Carly deserves this. Carly definitely deserves this on so many levels. So yeah. Now some of this episode is kind of mediocre. Some of it's kind of like, why? Like why? Um, like even the stuff in the beginning with Dante and Sam and Cody, just telling more juvenile stories. And when Dante used to get into mischief, and Sam is all like, "Ooh, ooh, tell me more," and it's like, "Wow, Sam, it's almost like you want a bad boy." I feel like I could just go on a whole rant about that, but I'm not. I'm not gonna go there. So trading stories and everything like that. And meanwhile, Britt is actually the third wheel, and Maxie's and Austin's little date. Now, to be fair, apparently there's supposed to be more people, but they all called out because I guess the studio did not want to pay more actors to be on the screen, or more actors than was already there. Now, only one. Well, I actually tell you, I don't even know if I can sit there and say it was interesting. There's a point where Austin gets a phone call. Spinelli gets there. After Britt is like, yeah, I'm not going to sit there and be the third wheel, and she kind of just, bounces. Austin gets a call from the same guy or the same person that I guess was at the campfire thing with, Finn and Wyatt and a bunch of other people that I can't bother to remember, but all of them. Oh, and Violet. Well, it was and the other people. Um, but apparently, this person called and Austin was not happy about it. Austin was like, "Look, listen." Um, it just seemed like he didn't really want to talk to him, or that person was like, "Yo, listen, our business is done, or whatever." I really can't wait to meet this mystery person. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but speaking of Spinelli, Max just there talking that she's worried about Brett and not being able to find anyone. Spinelli was like, "Oh well, maybe it's better to," and I'm quoting well, a content creator that passed away named Kevin Samuels. And pretty much in his words, he basically was meant to saying it's better to just buy a dog and die alone. More or less is what Spinelli said. And, Maxie was like, well, why would you say something like that for? You know? And I don't remember what his reasoning was, but at some point they're talking and Austin comes back, Spinelli leaves, runs into Cody. Now, the first part of this reveal, which everyone already knew, was stupid for a lot of different reasons. So, runs into Cody, and Cody's like, hey, listen, I'll let you buy me a drink or whatever. And, Spinelli's like, no, our business is done. Apparently, Spinelli was the one that matched Cody up with Brett. He's like, hey, thank you for doing me a solid, yada, yada, yada. And Cody's like, hey, come on now. I mean, I'm doing you a solid too. I'm not telling everyone that you're the person, that's behind, society setups. Like you're the main guy. Zelda is just a figurehead or whatever. Or just a smokescreen. I can't remember what he said, but like you're the person that's behind society meetups. I'm like, okay, cool. So why would he not? Why would you allow this scumbag in a lot of ways to blackmail you because you don't want everyone to know that you're the person that is behind society setups? Now he says something along the lines of the way that these matches are based upon. And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, I mean, I know that he did business with Jason and Sonny and things of that nature, so it's not like he's on the most up and up. But I can't. Here's the thing: I can't imagine. I can't imagine Spinelli doing something where it's so unethical and so wrong that he has to sit there and keep it under wraps, and he can't sit there and tell the people closest to him that he's doing society setups, and he has a maybe not exactly a conventional way of matching people, but I just can't imagine it being so like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you. I thought I knew you, Spinelli. I mean, you've been on the show for how long has you been on the show for? What, 10 years? I gotta sit there and think because I've been watching. I've been watching GH since 2000, and I can't remember. Well, he worked with Alcazar. I gotta sit there and think about when Alcazar actually came in, and then I gotta sit there and think about approximately where Spinelli came in. But my point is that whatever way that he's setting these people up, I can't imagine it being up to a point where it's like it's bad or it's damaging or whatever. Like I just don't understand. I feel like this is going to be so disappointing, like the Marshall reveal, that we're just going to be looking at Spinelli like, you know, for a person who seems like they're very smart, you are running laps, being all shady, and you're allowing a scumbag to blackmail you to give you a boatload of money or whatever to keep some of a secret that's like, I mean, listen, I can think of reasons to be blackmailed. Okay, maybe you got a certain fetish that you don't want people to know about. A certain kink. I can I can see that. Okay? But, like, okay, you know what? I think I've ranted long enough about that. And like I said, the rest of this episode is somewhat mediocre. I mean, um, Jocelyn finds out that Willow is pregnant and they're all happy and everything like that. And of course, we're all waiting for the other shoe to drop. But I guess we'll get to that whenever we get to that. And hopefully, when we do, Chad will be back. And, all is right in the world could be. Or at least bring back Christina and bring back the actress, okay? Bring back the actual actress, not some substitute that I'm going to wind up hating. On the side note, Uh, Nancy, the actress that plays Alexis, is going to be gone for a little vacay. So I found that out on I don't know Soap Opera Digest because they were talking about how much the fans were really loving the banter between Gregory and Alexis and the chemistry. I missed that part because I was too busy getting a headache. Some old man sitting there bitching, complaining at Alexis about her job and what he finds wrong about it and the fact that she actually cared enough to entertain him. But yeah, so if you're wondering why Alexis is gone for a little bit, that's why. I don't know if they're going to get a substitute. Um, but yeah. So yeah, Rory takes out Trina on a date because, Trina can't, she's still thinking about the trial, which is coming sometime this week. But, Rory takes her on a date. And there's a point where they're hanging out and, he's like, hey, got some brownies or whatever. And I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. This kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but she was all like, "Oh, that's so basic." And I just kept sitting there thinking, Trina, you know, if I wasn't in such a good mood from seeing Thor, Love, and Thunder, I would really go off on you right now. But I'm actually in a good mood, so I'm just gonna wait until I'm in a bad mood sometime throughout the week to I may decide to hit you up with an IOU later on. Which was a great movie, by the way. But after that, she's all like, "Oh, are these special brownies?" Trina, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. Just. So after that, the brownies are the best things in the world, and they wind up kissing, and 4th of July and fireworks, and they play this really basic music where it sounds like no, I heard that band before, but it was like they were playing the instrumental part where I guess they couldn't afford the actual like the whole song, so they just played like the musical part of it without the lyrics, and it was just like what? And it was so awkward because it wasn't even like towards the end of the episode when you got the previews going. It was like they played the part where everyone sat there enjoying the fireworks, and then it just went back into people talking. It was just like I'm looking at the time. I'm like, yo, you still got some more time. This not gonna? Okay, I found that very weird. What else we got? I took a peek at my notes and I'm like, I don't remember Nicole or EJ because I got the wrong damn notes. So Sonny. Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, the scenes with Esme and Spencer were just not really hitting. Um, Spencer was just kind of worried about like not being thrown out the hotel or not really going up to the roof deck, the roof deck or whatever. Since they've been banned from the hotel. Esme just wants to push her luck. And Sonny comes by and Sonny, intimidates her. Well, here's the thing. He intimidates her. But at the same time, Esme and her oh, woe is me, I'm the victim or whatever. So she acts super scared and she leaves and Sonny tries to talk some sense into um Spencer. And it goes in one ear and out the other. He's all like, oh, I'm defending my girlfriend and the evidence doesn't prove anything and blah 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 blah. So I just talked to you first start looking to watch for a little bit. But then, Spencer gets real with Spinelli. He's like, listen, I just want you to know that whatever I'm doing, he says it on his mother's, grave, whatever, like, um, like I'm doing something, I don't exactly remember what he said, but when he used his mother as an example, as far as like, I'm not going to do anything that's going to embarrass my mother, pretty much. Um, when he said that, you know, I guess it got Sonny to back off a little bit. Because Sonny is like, yo, you're going down the wrong path. Your friends don't like you. You're with a very questionable woman that's doing a bunch of really terrible things to people that are supposed to be your so-called friends. But I got in the back off for a little bit. And, I guess Spencer's going to enact whatever this plan is that's gonna wind up failing. Let's just be honest. It's going to wind up failing. Um, and I look forward to just laughing when it happens. And I thought I was done, and I was like, no, I'm not done. Because Valentin came by, and honestly, tell you the truth, at this point, Valentin and Nina was pretty much just kind of playing catch up. Talking about Charlotte, talking about Victor, and he's dangerous, and stay away from him. Um, Nina is not happy that, well, Nina isn't happy at Carly. Because Carly put herself in a position where Sonny feels like he's obligated to take care of her and kind of come to her rescue. And, Nina is just not feeling it. Um, it's not just saying, oh, well, Carly, she gave up, she's the one that gave up on their marriage and she's the one that wanted to divorce. And I'm like, yeah, because you were sitting there banging you were banging her husband. Maybe that's why. And, she caught you in the act or, well, after it was over. And I'm not gonna lie, the fact that she actually said that, oh, well, Carly's the one that wanted to divorce, I'm like, yeah, because you were having sex with her husband. Right? Hey, seriously, what kind of dumbass answer is that? I feel like, in a lot of ways, this is where some people just do not like Nina. Because it's just how out of touch she is. Like, if the roles were reversed, and Carly was sitting there banging Valentin, and Nina walked in, you know damn well that Nina will want that divorce. Hell, she'll probably, with her money and, things of that nature, she probably want that divorce that day, you know, or within 24 hours, she would want to, she would be sitting there trying to get a divorce. So the fact that she was sitting there, oh, well, Carly's the one that wanted a divorce and, she gave up on her marriage, it's like, really? But yeah, what they did was, kind of just play catch up. Um, Now, I will sit there and say this about this scene because, for the most part, it just wasn't really hitting with me. And I'm going to be honest. Well, I'll say this first. Is that I do like their friendship, that they're able to actually have a friendship given everything that, went down between Valentine and Nina and the stuff that Valentine did to Nina. The fact that they actually can be talking and being civil in the same room and actually are friends and concerned about each other, that does actually speak volumes for both of those characters. And I will give them that much. And that is pretty much the only thing I'm giving them because I'm going to be honest, for most of this episode, and I know this is actually going to sound like a dick, but the whole time I was sitting there watching this episode, parts of this episode, I was just sitting there thinking, man, I can't wait to watch Beyond Salem. I really can't wait to watch Beyond Salem, and not just because Steve is going to be in there. Um, Steve Burns, I always butcher his name, but besides the fact that he's going to be in it, it feels, and this is for the people who also watch Days, and I said this in my Days review. It feels like there was just no energy in this episode today days, and it's like they took all their energy. It was like, no, we're just gonna use it for that episode. Which is why, in a lot of ways, when I was watching this episode, I was like, it's kind of good, but I could have done without a lot of this episode. Um, yeah, that's about it. Yep, I feel like that's about it. But before I go, I just want to thank everyone. I know I say this often, but I do want to thank everyone for just watching, and thank everyone for sharing and liking. I don't, like ask for likes or whatever, because I feel like if your video is good, you shouldn't have to ask people to like your video. But I do want to thank people for liking it, because I know it definitely did help with the algorithm. And right now, we're sitting at 967. We're actually really close to 1,000 subscribers, and I was talking to DC Sanctuary a couple of weeks ago when we did our last um, collab, and he was asking me, he was like, can you believe that you're at 1,000? I'm like, no, no, hell, even when I was at like even when I was at 500, I couldn't even believe I was at that number. I couldn't believe I was at that number, and it's weird. And I'm probably gonna say this speech or whatever when I get to 1,000. But in case I forget some of these words, um, I owe that to a lot of the people that watch my channel, to commenting on stuff that's going on, help me understand some of the things that I might have missed throughout the episode, giving me clues. I mean, giving me not just support but tips. When I first started doing these videos, and Brock TV, gave me a shout out on his video, and people came to my channel from his channel, and people were like, one thing that helps is taking notes. And it really does help, trust me, it does. But tips like that, and just things of that nature, it really went a long way. And just watching people and their responses and things of that nature, of commenting on the videos, it really did help my confidence. Um, Hell, I do a lot less takes now, and I want to thank everyone for that. I do feel like I'm at a point where I'm not going to sit there and try to toot my own horn, but I think I came a long way. My first couple of videos, and that wasn't just me alone. That's everyone that watched my channel and supported it. So thank you. Anyway, I am really running well over the normal time that I go. That I do these videos, so apologize for the extra length and ranting. And also watch Love and Thunder. If you haven't seen it, watch it. There is and I can't speak for everyone. There is a part, or some of this parts of if you do watch it, that does get kind of emotional. Um, and I've never actually got emotional about any superhero movie, TV show whatsoever. I think it has something to do with just being so personal to me. But besides that, it's a great movie. With that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see everyone in the next video.